books, so you have to go and read at night and bring that one so you can go and pick it. You don't want someone to go and pick it up. We've come far away, but fortunately technology, you guys, have a lot to do. But basically what I do now is I consult for a number of institutions, and right now I'm focused on investment for Ghana, so I consult for Ghana Investment Promotion Center as a strategic consultant, focusing more on infrastructure investments and speaking to investors. But prior to that, I've been involved in some numerous companies here, Gihog, Japia, Casapreco, all those companies. I'm a quiet man, I always do things behind the scenes. So, not for it, came to my offices and we had a long chat. Not for it, I go back, but he said, well, come and speak to them. I said, what is it about? So, I went on the bed and I fell in love with it and I thought it was brilliant. So, I have a program in England, the Global Africa Summit that the president did. So, we all were there at round table discussions. When I come back, I'll come and speak to the group. So, that's why I'm here. So, basically, it's about that. But let's speak to the topic of the day. Now, what I will do is that I don't know how many of you are already running businesses or have intention to run a business. Are you running? How many of you are running a business? Okay, good. Now, sometimes, and those of us who intend to run businesses, there gets to a time where you want to expand. You want to go beyond where you started. But there are certain things that you want to be aware of. Sometimes we follow the crowd. We follow people, and then we hear from B or C, or we hear from a colleague of ours, or we just started a microfinance, we've opened a branch here. And because of that, you are following what your friends said. And then you will go and grab a branch, or you go and grab an office, a second office, and tomorrow you are off the radar. So there are certain basic things that you have to go through before you expand beyond where you are. And that's what I want to take you or walk you through with. Things that you have to be aware of before you expand. Now, let's look at this lovely picture. Okay, don't fail me. Now, this just speaks a lot. Okay. When you look at what does it tell you?
That's not his size. Not to take their father's clothes.
Yeah. Obviously, that is where he wants to be ultimate. But he has to grow steadily. But he had grabbed it and said, oh, I will grow in it. Now, when it is that you are starting a business where you require headcount, the number of employees will be 5 or 2, and then you end up going to occupy an office space that will require like 30, 40 people. You will increase your cost. You can justify it by telling people that, oh, we will grow in it. Yes, you will grow in it, but as of now, you don't need that resources. You don't need that facility. Because going for such facility, the cost, electricity, the cost of maintaining the place, and it will give you. In the same way, you have a lot of young ones or entrepreneurs going to site the office at an office location or an area that is really expensive, that they cannot afford it. But I think that is good, because they think that when we grow, we'll fix it. Now, when we grow, you will fix it. It depends on how much cash you have at the bank. So, if you don't have enough cash at the bank where you're going to use OPM, other people's money, to run the business, then you don't want to do those things. You can fix it and say, okay, we might need a 4-seater car or a 4x4 car in 7 months' time or in 2 years' time. And therefore, let me buy a 4x4 to start with. Now, the cost of fuel in running the 4x4 car will be pretty high. So, instead of grabbing that big thing and growing with it, rather go steadily. And that's what this picture talks about. You see, this is his ultimate is to go to school, grow, and then wear suit and be in an office like that thing. So you grab all at the home. but it looks funny. It's expensive. You feel very uncomfortable and all those. That's how business is. So you feel very uncomfortable, which costs money. And you want to avoid that. And business is not like something that you can always go back to the drawing board and correct it. Sometimes you have, when we're kids, you know, you are playing around, mommy says stop it. And then sometimes the mommy allows you or daddy allows you to go through that, and so that you crack. And then you wake up. When it comes to businesses, you can't. Because nobody can allow you to sample for the money. Now what you do is that running a business and making profit itself is a risky business. It is a risky business. Because look at what you go through in running businesses. For those of you who are already in business, you go through a lot of things. And therefore, if you're going to expand and you don't take certain things into cognizance, you would spoil or you would lose all the monies, all the effort that you've done or you've put up in the past. And therefore, it is important that you go through a certain steps. You review a certain procedure. You review your whole systems and see, or when do you even expand? When we ask, when do you expand? When do I open a branch? When do I introduce a new product? Is it when 4 people have come to my office and asked about the product, and therefore I should introduce it? So you need to ask yourself a lot of questions. And some of these things are here. So there's the first thing that you think about when you're going to expand. The first thing is the personal risk. Because you see, any company at all, once you open a branch, there will be stress. Because you started alone. Maybe you started with 2 people. Once you open a branch somewhere, once you expand, that means that you require a lot of human resources. You probably don't trust that person that you're going to put there. So don't be stressed. That means that today you go into at this branch and then tomorrow you have to visit that branch. You probably don't have time for your family. And you lose control. Because you see, you're going to have confidence in the person who's running it. You are not there. You don't know how he's running it. So initially you have to go through that, okay, have I built an organizational culture in it? Have I built some values that the person, can I trust the person? Can a person act like me when he's in that branch? Can a person act like me when he's dealing with customers? So you need to go through that meal. If you think that you have doubts, then don't expand, don't open the branch. That means you are not ready. Because the point is that the last thing you want to hear is that you open a branch and then you hear stop taking. Some officer had squandered money. And we hear it almost every now and then. Microfinance, they put names and pictures of people that they've lost. You know why? Because they open a branch. So you hear a branch at Kofrobia, a branch at the head office is there. You hardly hear people have stolen money from head office. There's always a branch. And you go through that particular thing. And if you're not careful, the amount of money that person might have gone away with can collapse. And it is serious. Sometimes they put a picture that don't deal with this, don't deal with this person again. So that control thing, you don't want to lose it. So if it is that you are worried about those things, they don't expand as yet. Make sure that you put the necessary controls in place. The second one is that, you see, you have management style, a certain management style. And then within 1 year, you haven't been able to invite that management staff into your staff as yet. Within 1 year, you can't. Because staff take about 6 months to size you out. The next 3-4 months to carry out the instructions and see the reactions. So it's the second, third year that the culture really is built. The first 6 months, they all size you out. When you are coming, they all sit up. When you left, they all start reading newspapers. And then the second 6 months, that's where you've seen that, oh, you are not harmful at all. What we're thinking is not the way it is. So then you put up. Then occasionally, they will skip work 1 day and they want to see your reaction. So you go through all those things. So if you haven't done that, and then the following moment, you just go up in the and therefore you have difficulty. And these are the things that we have to clear. The last one is that it's an unknown market, the branch, the area that you are going to set up, the product, the new product that you want to introduce. It's an unknown area. Because you started with this particular chain, but now you want to introduce tables. You haven't done tables before. But they are complementary, but you haven't done it before. So the fact that you've heard that sell tables in addition to the chairs that you sell, make sure that you know really what the tables are, where they are getting it from. When people come and buy chairs and buy tables, it's always a must that people buy a table and chair. So you have to ask all these questions before you introduce it. You see, opening the branch is the same as adding new product to your existing product line. Because you are going to an unknown area. So if it's physical, opening a branch elsewhere, it's like an unknown area because that's not where you start your business. You have to know what is it, what is the lifestyle there. I remember a client of ours, we're setting up between Accra and Kumasi. You see, Kumasi was a radio. Kumasi lifestyle is different from Accra. Now Accra is 6 o'clock back news. 7 o'clock newspaper review has all this. Kumasi is a laid back. So when you carry all these principles to Kumasi, it never worked. It never worked. And therefore, then we had to study Kumasi market. Change the whole thing that it's not a serious morning show area. And therefore, instead of putting in a resource like somebody who is sharp there doing your morning show in Kumasi, find somebody who can crack jokes. You see, you need to study all those because you can lose money. You need to find somebody who can crack jokes and all those. So guess what they like? They like the spiritual realm issues, witchcraft, all those ones. and you have a lot of listenership when you are doing that. So it's a total different market. Can you imagine Accra, your morning show, radio show, and then you are discussing witchcraft and all those things? Believe me, the text messages that will come in, you probably will want to make. But they like it there. They like it there because that's what it is. So you need to have a fair idea on the market before you say, I'm going to open a branch there. And I've seen people, they've gone for 3-4 years and they are acquiring, they are opening new branches, they are acquiring new stations in Accra, they are acquiring new stations in Takoradi, and then in 3 years time they get fold up. Then they collapse. Just because they have been studying the things. And that's a pitfall that we want to avoid. We are not there yet, but it's better to have a fair idea of it so when you get there, we will not have them down. Now, you ask yourself, to grow or not to grow? To grow or not to grow? Do I open a branch? Do I increase a new line of activity? Do I increase the volume of work I do? Or I shouldn't? There are certain questions that you ask yourself. Now, the first question that I also said that timing is everything. Timing is everything. The time that you will strike and say, okay, I'm going to grow, it's everything. The first principle that you must have is that you must look at your profitability. Currently, are you making profits? Never ever say that I'm making losses now. But when I open a branch, I'll make profits so that you can compensate. It won't happen. It will never happen. So do profit analysis. Profit analysis is just your sales, your cost. And find out whether you're making profit over a period of time, maybe 1 year or 2 years. Then there's a bit of comfort, there's a stability. Then you can decide that you go and open. So the first principle is that, are you profitable? If you're not profitable in your existing thing, don't. And don't say that, somebody said that this particular product is profitable. No. Before you start your business, you might have done some research, some study, some survey to understand the real market before you started your business. And therefore, you've asked a lot of questions. You are learning from it. You are going out. So before you move into the next level and say that, look, I'm going to open a opening more branches. It's not right. They'll collapse. With my background and everything, you see, when you do that, you have a problem. Don't. Because it's all the shopping branches they are opening it. No. Check the mobile networks. Look, you need to have cell sites to have your phone connected into other regions. But some can afford it. The fact that MTN has cell sites all over the place doesn't mean that me, I'm espresso. I can afford this area. And that's what I'm profiting. Yeah, and that's what they're paying. If you watch carefully, you notice that, oh, they are not here. Coverage, yes. Coverage, but stability. You can't go and put the coverage somewhere in my village that I'm in the Western region where nobody works there. They are all families. Who buy my credit? For that matter, how do I pay for the generator that will maintain the cell site there? Okay, so whereas the customers or the users of mobile phone will make noise and say, oh, we can't, this one is not here. They have done their work. They've done the analysis. They can't move, go and move, and they'll collapse. Yes.
Can we be asking?
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, I mean, how does, sometimes the regulators, how does it fit in? Because if regulators, for instance, in the case of mobile networks, they expect that by a certain time, your coverage will be, let's say, 3 major capitals, Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, and you are struggling to get to that point. How does it affect you?
No, the regulators always say this as an act, but they also look at your finances. So they don't push you for the sake of pushing. Go and put all the branches. No, they don't. They allow you to grow into it, of course. They allow you because it costs a lot of money. To set up a bank branch costs a minimum of 20, it's over almost 100,000 to set up a branch of a bank.
Is that dollars?
Yeah, no, just 100,000 cities. Because you need the venue, car park, air conditioning, and the connectivity, safe, and all those. It's a lot of money. You don't need to buy a place. You can rent a place for 10 years or 5 years and all those. It costs a lot of money. So you notice that some of the banks, they are not opening branches because it costs money. All the Bank of Ghana would love to see every bank opening branches all over. You notice, if you can recall, there was a bank called Barclays Bank. They open branches all over the place. Now you see the closing.
I was about to give it a
Yeah, and that's business. So you must look at yourself properly. Don't rush. Don't say, you see, if you meet your friends, don't rush, don't be in a hurry to say, okay. Because you know what? Now I have two branches. So just a feel good thing. And then you say, I have 2 branches, 3 branches, 1 branch. No. The current branch that you have, is it profitable? Are you making money? Is there a need to open a second one? Yes. Then you answer that. So the only driving force for you is profitability. If it's not profitable, don't do it. The second, ways to expand.
Is it always when you are profitable?
Yeah, it's a driving force. Yes.
Is it always?
Always. Because you see, as for the in existing market. So the existing market is your current customer base. Find a way where they can buy more instead of buying two. Is there a way they can buy three? Would you like to run promotion? Would you like to do a discounting thing? Would you like all the sales tricks that the sales people would end up helping you with? You apply that fair. The second one is that you introduce a new product. Now you notice that there's a particular company, I think, the brand is called Jojo.
Yeah, the
Cream. You know, they started as a cream and then they did what we call it, beverage, and then toothpaste, and also now they are introducing new product into an existing market because they've tested it, they've looked at the needs of the people, they've realized that look, I pushed it, they bought it, quality wise. Let me introduce the second one. Let me introduce this. Let me introduce. So you notice that now they have a total range of products. The person that I used to follow, his development was a Messi cream. So me, I like dealing with local indigenous Ghanaian business. I follow their progress. I follow the progress for academic essence. I like Messi cream first. Put it on some small plastic thing, and then Messi cream, African cream. Then some marketing people went to speak to the man, and then he brought tubes. They had it like very nice, and they shipped it well. Automatically people were buying. Then he started exporting. Unfortunately, the first part required that they had a lot of employees. The second part laid off employees, and some of them left to set up, competition and all those ones. They brought
in the same line of business.
the same line of business. Yes, they took. So this one is not good. Ours is good, and all those ones. And because he was not in the market, in the field himself, he was sitting in the office and doing anything. He lost out because the guys who are in the field are now saying that we are saying we are telling you. This one is not good. This one.
So their advantage.
Of course. So that's why always in future or if you're running a business, when you listen to the sales people, take a car and visit some of the clients. It's very important because you can lose that from there. I mean, they can lie to you. My friend you drive to the client's house and all those unknown to the sales people, and that's the only way you can protect your revenue streams. So you introduce new product, and then develop a new market segment. These are all marketing things that the marketing guys can elaborate on it. But these are the rare things that you consider before you expand. Now, the last one on the list is joining forces. You see, sometimes you don't need to go open a branch in Kumasi. You can strike strategic alliances with somebody running a similar thing in Kumasi or complementary thing in Kumasi, and then you go to Kumasi, you negotiate with them, and carry share of shelf. So carry this product on the shelf. 6 months, return. I'll pay your commission. Or do like the pharmaceutical company, those who import the drugs do. They would, instead of building out pharmaceutical branches, they bring the bulk, the goods in bulk, and distribute it to a lot of things, and advertise and say that you can get this at Okanshi, here they will mention it. So back to back, that's strategic alliances. So then you avoid paying rent, you avoid paying electricity, you avoid engaging that. So that's the critical thing. But you know how we are. Sometimes, so when I do the strategic alliance, before you realize he's selling it, you will cut me out. No, it's the way you structure it.
That's not from the
And then you get a good lawyer next point is the funding, the expansion. See, the first one is how you do it, but how do you fund it? The first way of funding your expansion program or you introduce a new product is by accumulated profits. You've made profit in the last 3 years. It is time you go to this one. So you are going to use this profit to start that one.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Any particular reason for the last 3 years? What if I made a lot of profit last year?
I like 3 years because it gives you a certain stability.
Yeah.
So the trend.
Yes, the trend. Because if you're not careful, the product you're doing is a political product. Let's say you print t-shirts. And then election year, you do huge volumes. And you use that as a reference point. You might make a mistake. Only to see that the following year you're not doing volumes. And I've seen it happen. So you have to get the trend right. Okay. So you use the accumulated profit or undistributed profit that you made in the past. So the new branch is likely to cost us 5,000 Ghana, 50,000 Ghana, 100,000 Ghana. We have built the business in the last 2 years. Our accumulated profit is X, Y, Z. So then we can do it. That's what we do. The second point is new injection of equity from existing shareholders. This point is very critical. If you're expanding, we are expanding with new money from existing shareholders. So you can ask existing shareholders that we are going to open a branch because we've made profit here and we're going to open a branch. It's likely we'll make more profit. So let's do injection. That's a priority that I want you to have in that order. Check it. And then if you don't get it from existing shareholders, then you look at new shareholders, new partner to join you in that order. If you've exhausted all these points, it doesn't happen, then you look at the loan. So don't borrow to open a branch, because when you borrow, it is time driven, not activity driven. Activity is when you are selling. Time, whether anybody is coming to your shop, you are providing a service or not, the bank calculates its interest on time. It's 30% per annum. Work backwards 3% per month. Work backwards, so they work on time. Weekends, they are charging interest. Sunday that you are in church, they are charging you interest.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't that system also, some people think that system also instills a certain level of discipline? So then you are not waiting around aimlessly when you can systematically and at a fast pace develop your business model because you know you have to pay that interest.
Yes, but it gives, look, last time I was with your friend Kisman. You see, it gives, you can't sleep.
Exactly. Especially if it's a huge amount.
You can't sleep. And then you know, the bank, it is unfortunate. But what this is that, you probably have a collateral security. Meanwhile, the banks, anytime the bank asks you for a collateral security, that means that they don't believe in your project. I'm telling you.
Even if they believe in it, they want to cover themselves.
Because you see, my dear, because they lend you money based on your cash flow. Look, if it is that you are supplying Unilever, and Unilever or Coca-Cola or a bank, and they pay you in check, and the check comes to the bank, or they do a joint account, they don't ask you for any collateral. But it's where they are not seeing their way clear. And because it's other people's money, they say, Abi, let's have the comfort. And the collateral security is required. Now, when it is that you have a collateral security for a loan, and fortunately, the collateral security happens to be the papers of the house that belongs So that is why it is good to go through all
It's
this.
order. Yeah. If
That order,
possible.
if it's possible. Go through order. And then please, not overdraft. You see, when they are going to expand, it takes a while for the business, for that branch to grow and to make profits. So take a term loan
Yeah.
from the bank.
Probably with a payment holiday of maybe
Something moratorium of 6 months on all those ones. Have it. Then it gives you some comfort. Then the branch can breathe properly. You know, the branch can breathe properly.
Otherwise to suffocate.
Because one of the things that if you are not careful is that the branch will keep on suffering and then you keep on pouring money in and it will never come out. And then one day you get upset and say, you notice that when new managing directors, firms that are suffering when they are employed, the first thing they do is
Cut down the branches.
they cut down the branches, they cut down the offices, they close down and all those ones. Because it costs them money. So why don't you push it to Guinness did it way back. What they did was that they used to have Guinness branches everywhere. And they moved the Guinness drinks to a Guinness depot. Customers walk all the way to Guinness depot to pick their drinks. So one sharp finance guy plus the MD sat down this way back. They said, no, let's take a decision. Let's take a decision. Look, let's look for 15 key distributors. We would give them letter of comfort to go to the bank for the bank to lend them money.
Not us.
And then we will give them discount. In fact, we will run competition amongst them. The best key distributor for the year will give him pickup.
It's a good idea.
They've saved, look, the money that they saved, buying 5 pickups and sharing it across is nothing. They shift that interest burden, transportation burden, and all those ones to the distributors. The distributors also feel keeping that now I am the key distributor of Guinness. So they write their name and they write key. So when I see all these pieces of you put the back of you and you are putting yourself. Right. So, sorry? I know. But the concept behind it, somebody shifted the burden to you, thought that the person is doing you a favor. No, the multinational, they are good. Yeah?
There's still business.
There's still business, yeah. There's still business. There's still business. It created more efficiency in the system.
As long as the product is selling,
The
you don't
product
have
is selling. So now the key distributors also, went down, appointed people. So at the point like you saw people with trucks, like I was so kind of that small truck, the car was about it. The Kia pickup. And then they had drinks in it, and then they drive in the community neighborhood, and then they transferred the drink and they became tea bottles and all those ones. So that thing cascaded down, it brought all the stock efficiency across the board, and it worked. And it worked. The last one for how to fund is your credit line from the supplier. You see, when you are good and reliable, and you are paying your supplier of services or goods on time, especially those who, if your line of activity is import, if you're doing very well, you can end up getting a 1-year credit line from a supplier. When they give you that line of credit, you are turning around the books, you are making profits. So you can get a certain percentage every month, set it aside and use it to expand. It's free money. The only caveat, the only difficulty there is that if it is denominated in forex, then by the time you are paying back the exchange rate, you can create a problem. That's the only caveat. But if it is that you can find a way to protect it carefully, then usually suppliers credit is solid. The only setback again with the suppliers credit that if something happened to the supplier out there, they can take a bold decision and it can affect you. They can say that next year we are cutting back on our credit lines. They are moving away from $70,000 30,000 because Ghana is very risky. You know, a lot of things go into that, so they can tell you that we are cutting back, and that can affect you. That's why I put it relax. So
I was thinking why it wasn't even the first.
that's actually, it has a lot of risk associated with it. You know, that's a risk. The way I've arranged it is the level of comfort, you know, and the risk associated with it, so that you can expand well. So that is that to do with avoiding the pitfalls. So to recap, you have to know when to expand, and when to expand is driven solely by profitability. Solely by profitability. And then you look at the ways of expanding. And the best way for me is always a strategic alliance. Strategic alliance. That way you don't incur too much cost to start with. The only difficulty with that, the risk with that is that you may end up sharing that profit alone that will accrue to you with somebody. But it goes without saying high risk, high returns. So if you want to take all the risk, you get all the profit. If you want somebody to share the risk with you, someone will share the profit. And then you look at how to fund the expansion. But every expansion has to be funded. So you want to avoid all those pitfalls. It's very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Charles Mensa. I think we have some time we can ask questions. If you have any questions on the topic that we just been speaking.
Yes. Go ahead, sorry.
Would you advise a company which is starting up to borrow from the bank?
Thank you very much. Now, I've always proposed, or I've pushed for this, that the foundation of every business is your personal savings. The pillars of your business are money from your friends and family. The roof of your business is bank loans. Why? Because when the bank decides that they will not give you the loan, the only thing you lose is the roof.
And these extractions are standing there.
Now, when they lay the foundation, when they say they will do, the whole building will collapse. So, don't borrow to start business. At least show some commitment that you personally put some money in. Talk to the suppliers that they are going to provide you certain things to give you extended credit. Talk to the customers that you are dealing with. That look, I'll give you an efficient service. So instead of 30 days credit, I want to do 15 days credit. Because I will deliver it like a doorsteps. Get all this in, develop your own business to some point before the bank loan comes in. Please. Because the bank loan, someone that have sold the service to you is time bound. So all the young ones that have been training all over the place, I keep on emphasizing, don't start with bank loan, don't start with bank loan. The only difficulty is also, we also don't like sharing partnership with friends. Because the friends can also bring in money. So that's the pillars. They can bring in money. So I'm in the mainstream, I'm working at the bank, you are starting a business. I want you to come and support me. These are percentage shares that will take, let somebody not do the valuation of the shares. Then you pay yourself. Because one of the things that you see, even if you don't have money, make a provision for it. It's called notional salary. You are working in a company, you have two partners. One provided the money, but it doesn't work there. The other one is running the business. Agreed among yourself and pay yourself some money. You may not physically take the money, but accrue it in the books. So January salary, 200. February salary, 200. So your cumulative is 400, 600. So by end of year 2, you will have a cumulated salary or accumulated salary of roughly about, let's say, 4,800. That is due you. That is the business. So in future, when the business gets money, that, okay, I'm in the business, but I'm going to make sure that I'm a security to the account above the checks if it's above 500. For example, if it's above 500 Ghana, I want to be signatory. Or if it's above 2,000 Ghana, I want to be signatory. Or we'll have the money in the revenue account, and then we'll have account 2, that is expenditure account. So when we meet Mondays for a meeting, because I don't work there, and my money is there, we can agree on all your expenditure, and then I transfer the money from this to that. So there are controls, there are so many ways of doing it, and then you get a business running. That's what I want to see. All the big companies that you're looking at, the Barclays Bank, the Guinness, Sainsbury's, Marks and Spencer, they're all family and friends. Mark and Spencer. Barclays family is a Barclays family. Guinness, they are all names coming together. But right now, even the family has no less than, no more than 10%. Now, pension funds are key shareholders in the banks and all those ones. The family has a small.
Originally, they started it.
With time, as they expanding, you bring other people in. So please, that's how you grow a business. And I believe that with time, I can come back here and come and share the dividend with you. Yes, it is.
So we heard a lot about partnerships. And I wanted to ask, in your experience, and I noticed that your consultancy, you're a partner with somebody else. So how do you pick somebody if it's your idea and you're starting?
You need somebody who will complement her. So you look at your weaknesses. You have a weakness. Now, weakness in terms of the business growth, where the business is going. So if it is that you've done the proper analysis, maybe an area that I really want to go, I'm going to cite that example. I want to do provide medical services for men over 40. Men over 40 have popular diseases across the world. And when you look at the statistics, we are getting there, we are plenty. And most of the men over 40 are middle class, majority are middle class. So I want to provide kind of service that the beautiful nurse will come to your office and take what do you call it? The blood things and all those ones, bring the test, and they book an appointment for you to come to the clinic after 7 o'clock when it's closed, so that it's easy. You drive into the house, in a very relaxed atmosphere. Yes, big one. Guess what? So I'm not a medical person. I have an idea. So I went to Korea. I spoke to Dr. Frerenji and all those people. They are coming in to do that. So over agreed. So it's partnership. So you look at business concept, you look at what you can do, and then you bring people in there. And then when you make a pitch, you can make a pitch to like 4 people, 4 different people, and then they will then come back to you. You know, the person comes to you the first day after you made a pitch. It's not a fact. But the person who comes to the first day to make a pitch, he has free money, he will come and worry you. But the person who comes to you after 1 week, because he's done the analysis, he's thought through it, that's the person you should do it. Because he's thought through it. And you want people who can think through it, not impulse. You know, yeah, oh, I like it. I think it's a good idea. You know why he's doing that? Because maybe they've announced that bonus is coming next month. So, hey, this bonus, I don't want to misuse it. I could say to speak to you. Okay, I'll put the bonus in. And then tomorrow morning is in need of cash. So this business right, the message. I don't see my way. Give me my money. Give my money. You know, I don't like that guy. I mean, misusing their money. I mean, out of experience, I don't have any scientific study done, but out of 1 or 3 transactions, I've seen it happen. So yes, you have to choose somebody that, and then you need to have an arrangement where if any don't use passion.
When you're not making money, then you don't want to.
Don't use passion. Passion.
Yeah.
One of the things that you should avoid is a passion. Don't use your passion for business. Because you like sewing dress and it's not profitable, you still do it. And then the small money you get, you are pushing it in. It will be well. It will be well. It won't. It won't. So what you do is that what is profitable? You see, what drives us to do business is profit.
Yeah.
Even when I bring NGO, you are looking at profitable ventures. What Bill Gates does these days, he does things that gives him mileage that extends to the business. All the donations he's doing for Ebola, they mention his name, they mention the company. He's not advertising Microsoft, but by extension, Bill Gates, donate, Bill Gates, donate, PCFS, Bill Gates, donate, JoyFL, Bill Gates. You see, he gets free advert, free, and they are smart. You might think that they are rich, but they just spending money. No, they've done their calculations. They've done their calculations. How much is the advertising budget for Microsoft? Okay, why don't we look at 20% savings and put into a foundation that my wife and I would handle? Just invest that. And then, yeah, tax exempt, smart one. That will handle. And that's it. And what we do is that we would look at health. The more people we have, the more people buy the software. You are not checking the thing. You see? They are doing things that will keep us alive. When we are alive, the way technology is surrounding us, the way these days when you use the internet and the new version comes in, it pops up, it locks you if you don't have updates, you are paid. And then you are paying. These days, some of us who used to pirate all the software, now you can't. Now you'll be sitting there, then they have regional or country office managers, Microsoft, they write you a letter that so you should come and perfect it. And then you go and you pay something to them. They will charge you the penalty. And then you lose. It's there. So they are all being smart. The guy that I really liked was the managing director of UBA. He left, he's come back as a chairman. He's a Nigerian, very fair. Tony Ibelu. You know, he has a foundation. And he's strong. Look, I like people like me. I follow people a lot. And now his foundation, guess what they do? They do things that promotes his investment in UBA. In a very subtle manner. He's into youth entrepreneurship thing, foundation. If people write to him, he will support. He's into give back, investment research. It's investment. When they bring a research report in his good, he alerts the bank. You're not seeing the things. And follow things, smell things. There are opportunities. So then he passes on. Fortunately, I think he's come back as a board chairperson. You know, Nigeria passed a law that says that you can't be managing director of a bank for more than 10 years. So he has to leave. And then he went to form some good infrastructure companies doing well. And then he was running the foundation. So sometimes you see him carrying the foundation cap. Sometimes you see him in place. But he's dropping, he's much, the people that he deals with is amazing. Africa, we've come far. It's amazing. And I loved it. And I hope that one day Dangote also will have a foundation when it is that he passes on the business to somebody else to run. So that's a key point. So follow the procedure. It's nothing. You're just avoiding the mistakes that people are doing. And I see. I can predict companies that will collapse in the next few years.
Man, we be careful one and it really
interest will pay you is equivalent to so that's like 30% a month. What kind of business will give you a return of 30%? That means that it's real. Immediately you see the signal that they are using your money to pay the first product you. So they recycle it. And then when there's a hit on the reserves, then everybody, the house of cards, then comes and then everybody is, has a difficulty. Then the banks come in, we do more. Yours is to identify opportunity, grow steadily. But what should drive you is nothing but profit, not emotions, not passion. As for me, I like this, not what you like. As for me, this thing is giving you profit. This one is not giving you profit. I don't think I will trade in this. Don't waste too much time on that. Work on those that gives you profit. If it's not giving you profit, hive it off.
That's what I wanted to say. Suppose you have a number of products and you found out that some of it is not giving you the required profit. So it's good to just
Yeah, you have it off. Oh yeah, you have it off to people who understand it. What the let me digress a bit with the banks. You notice that you need the Dr. First Bank was the name? Unibank. Okay, you notice that they have a company called Unicredit. Now what Unicredit does is the individuals. You see the cost of attending to the small one was very high. So you have a degree holder working in the bank and then spends 15 minutes on a customer who is coming to deposit 15 Ghana cedis. Okay. And then the same individual is also serving a corporate customer. And the attention was critical. So what the Unicredit does is that he brought in SSS students, one big supervisor, one big principal, yeah, one it's a mass product, and they are there in the same story. 15 Ghana cedis, 5 cedis. When you go there, you notice that somebody come and put 15 Ghana cedis today. Tomorrow morning is there to withdraw 5 cedis. There's a bank called Easy, but easy. They were in Kumasi, and I had a friend there. You know my work, and I like interviewing people. He says that somebody came to put 10 Ghana cedis. Then he came the following day that this is the story, very interesting. I'll say in the tree. I'll say, Era, you go with me. He force you. It was about an argument with somebody. Paul, I made sure who dare you say you want to So I was surprised that Israel had to sell to some EFL. I think they sold it to somebody. I wasn't surprised at all because you have a such person. But that's the point. That's the point. So you go through all those bills and then it's gradual. But learn, please. So take if nothing from here at all. Learn to start a business if you are not already there with at least one person, one partner. Start the business with one partner. You can have 80%. You can have, he can, because you are the staff, so you can have 20%. With the option of getting another 20% after 3 years. And then you cannot sell the shares unless after 5 years. All those can come in the So it is that if you are still caught up in that particular product, you lose out. I'll say, give a typical example. There was time that people were selling ice water, normal water, the water that we all know, ice water. It was in the bucket. Ice water was in the bucket. They had a cap. They had a cap by the bucket, and then caps were in the buckets also. So when you needed ice water, you wash it, fetch it, and then when the car is moving, you throw the cap down, and then you rush for it there. Nobody complained about health. It was there. We lived with it. And then some shop somewhere said, oh, we can have rubber. So guess what? You were putting the penny, you call it penny, you were blowing it. You took the wire, or somebody said, they're blowing it. Blowing the thing, you were putting stuff in it. And then they brought the pure water. And then, with time, they brought this, which also became fashionable. When you see people with taro on their neck, and then they stand with the leaders with them from England. It's hot in here. So if it is that you were the woman or the man dealing with the bucket line of product, with the way things were going, there's no way that if you stay in there, you win. In the same way, tabletop space to space, it was ubiquitous. Everywhere you pass was there. A young one school dropper was there. In no time, the telcos brought unit transfer, and they broke it down to 1 Ghana cedi, 2 Ghana cedi unit, and all those ones, which was cheaper. So whereas you would rush to go and make a call because you didn't have enough money for 1 cedi or 50 pesos, now they brought a system. So if you were somebody who was opening branches for your tabletop, immediately you have to be thinking through that and say, oh, I'm going to stop that line. So apart from analyzing the profitability of the thing to see that whether you can stay or not, you also have to read around and see the trend first. What's happening in the market? You can take a decision immediately that, look, I'm not going to stay in this business. Although I'm making a marginal profit, I'm not going to stay because of this. I'm not going to stay in the business. At the same time, if it is that it's profitable, there's something that we call activity-based costing. How you calculate the cost of a product affects the profitability of the product. The cost of running your own operation is driven by activity. The telephone cost in your office is driven by the number of times you make a call and then how long you stay on. So if you are pricing a product per the telephone, then you should price it by the activity, not by the phone calls, but by the activity. So the activity says that, look, if I call customer A, usually we spend 5 minutes on customer A, this category of customers. And therefore, my telephone cost, customer A should pick up the 5 minutes cost. If you don't do the activity-based cost, you end up pricing customer B, who probably picks up only a minute of your call. And then you decide, okay, I have 5 customers who I usually place call to. My mobile cost is this, so I divide by 5. And then everybody gets a share. When you do that, you end up seeing customer B and C probably showing that they are not profitable. But when you do the activity base to analyze the one, you notice that you are spending more time, that's activity. You are spending more activity on this particular person who is not doing more sales, who is not giving more revenue than this one. And that helps you to determine the profitability of the product. That's when you have you are a bar operator, whiskeys and alumbo and all those will be in the shelves. The beer and coke will be in the fridge. So the electricity cost for the bar, if you are calculating it, the beer and coke should pick up more than the whiskey. If you are doing activity based with the whiskey, that this simple analogy should pick up than the whiskey, but the whiskey is not in the fridge, so it's not pushing your electricity cost up. But if you're not careful, some places you go and then they are rather pricing the whiskey at a higher rate, and that's why you said the whiskey is there. They've only bought 2 thoughts in the last 3 months. and all this is I teach. All this you help people. Then they begin to understand it. Things, okay, we didn't know. So you end up seeing that you are spending more money on the beer, and then the beer to, energy costs, but yet it has to get cold for people. And people are not even consuming more. So this is the bar people have stopped and they are selling JD. No, you know JD. Hey, how did you know? Okay, but they say joy that they don't say JD. And I say JD. I know. Yes, the other one.
So this activity-based analysis then also helps you cut out
The waste. Yeah.
So you do that before you decide whether
Of course,
to
of
build a
course.
business or not.
Of course, you go through that motion. But once you know that there's something to be done about the product profitability, it helps you to shape up properly. So you not rush to introduce a product. You not live with this. You now will know that don't rush to introduce this. Don't listen to a friend who says that this one is good, we should sell this. No. Do your own analysis and then build from there. Have your own conviction. If you have a team, let the team have the conviction and then you gradually grow from there. Not what you hear others doing. It's what the company or what the company can do at its best. But the driving force once again is the profitability. That's why you're in business. You're not in the business to make a loss. You're in the business. If you're making a profit, if you make a profit this year and then maybe next year you make a loss, it's okay, it's acceptable because things are not too good. The following year you make it so that you can see that if it evens out. That's why I wanted 3 years. That's why you have to do a trend analysis. Okay, any other one? All right. Okay. Well, you can do it.
Thank you so much. I think we put our hands together for Mr. Charles. Thank you very much for the insightful knowledge on how to, at the point at which we should expand our businesses. I think most of us have that quandary, those of us trying to run businesses in Egypt at the moment. Is it time for us to take it to the next level or should we carry on as we are? It's a little hard when you're in a society like the Ghanaian one. But, the entrepreneurs who are doing well, they make it look so easy and it looks like you should move to the next stage, quicker than you really should. So I think these are things that we have to take into consideration. And it's also important that, as Mr. Mensah said, you have to really know your market. So learn the rudiments of what it is you do and understand it and ask for help when you need it. And I think that's what we're all here for. I mean, African Entrepreneurs Hub is an information center for you entrepreneurs out there. If you're looking for information, you can speak to us. But for the practical help also, we are fortunate that we have our parent partners, Servlet Africa, who supports us, and they run business courses and they also run management services that can help you grow your business. So if you're interested in any of those, please speak to Nana or Sam or myself if you want any information on African Entrepreneurs Hub. I also would like to let you know on the 23rd is the Friday, the 23rd of November, from the week of the 17th to the 23rd of November, 21st of November is the Friday, we'll be Friday to celebrate Global Entrepreneurs Week. So please invite all your entrepreneur friends. Come yourselves. We'll be doing things a little differently. We're still pulling through with our change theme. So next week we'll be doing something a little different from how our normal Saturday Friday runs. And the week after we'll also be doing something a bit more special to celebrate the Global Entrepreneurs Week. So as well, if you have any activities and you want to submit them to the Global Entrepreneurs Week so they know what you're doing, please, you can contact me for information on how to do that, or go on their website and you should be able to find them on Google. They should give you information. Lastly, we gave out forms, so those of you who came out late maybe didn't get it, but we have feedback forms. Please fill the feedback forms. It's very vital to us, so we know what we're doing well and what we're not doing so well. We can progress on it. So please put your comments, honest opinions on there. We're big babies, we can take it. Let us know what you think, and so we can improve on ourselves. And please don't go. Finally, we have refreshments. Hang around and network amongst yourselves. Get to know each other, what we do, and have some food with us as well. And finally, we end everything with a prayer like we started. So if I can ask that we bow our heads and say, okay. Get your communication first.
Shall pray. Father, we thank you so much for a successful session, Lord. We give you all the praise for tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Sorry, before you all go, please like our page on Facebook if you haven't done so already.